So I'm perplexed as to how I should intro this, because on one hand, hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Final Fantasy IV The Interlude. But also on the other hand, hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy IV The Complete Collection. In the last part, Anthem and I finished off the post-game for Final Fantasy IV, and now it's time for the Interlude, because there's going to be 2 playlists for this now moving forward. 3 when we eventually get to the after years. So, this time around, Anthem and I are tackling the Interlude, and for a brief synopsis of what this is a PlayStation Portable exclusive scenario to better bridge the after years in Final Fantasy IV by altering some minor plot holes, so to speak, that was there to begin with that many people didn't care about to begin with, but enough people were like, what? That they decided to fill them in.
I appreciate the fact that they actually added something in the middle.
Yeah, it's better than just the gap that there was, because I think, let me get the dates up. The original FF4 was, I think, 1991 for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, July 19th, 91, whereas After Years was, or at least the first episode of it on mobile phones was 2008. So yeah, that's 17 years, which is the actual original time span between the games anyway.
Huh.
So that they actually decided to bridge it a bit better is nice. But we'll get more into my thoughts about the Interlude on a whole as we go. But they could have done something really interesting with this. I feel they did the bare minimum. But hey, Cecil's having nightmares. That'll be addressed again later on. So the Interlude, as in terms of what you actually have access to start here, you're more or less railroaded the entire time through. You can't really explore. There is no side areas to go into. You are forced to go where the game wants you to go. In this case, I believe it wants us to go to the throne room?
Were those soldiers in bed and saying I wasn't sleeping?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to check there.
Reminds me of a certain story that you have from your previous employment. Bed in the broom closet.
No, it was literally in the storage area because I was stuck there at 3 in the morning sometimes, and I didn't have to work until 6.
Hey, you still used it, and hey, if someone walked in, you'd be like, huh? What? Actually, anyone who probably walked into that room was probably in the same position you were, so they didn't give a shit.
Other than one person, yeah, nobody really questioned it. One person asked why, and basically is like, I don't have a car. I have to be here in 3 hours. It's 3 in the morning. Why are you here right now? Let me go sleep.
Yeah. There is actually one minor thing also I do like about the dialogue here. Because at the end of the main game for 4, the second moon left the planet, the world is having some climate problems. Namely, tides are shifting and different parts of continents are being revealed. That is them basically briefly explaining why the map has minor differences in After Years. When I say minor, I mean just an extra land passage here, different river placement there. It's not that different, really. The dungeons get to be different, though, for some reason. Especially Devil's Road, that just becomes a full-out place. Hi, Sid!
It's a mystery dungeon, didn't you know? Ever-changing environment.
True.
And all that.
True. But yeah, that's for story stuff going on right now. We're heading off to Damsian. Because Edward, since the end of 4, which I believe at this point in time is about a year prior to the... Interlude takes place, I think, a year after the original game. Has been working with his people to rebuild his kingdom after it got, completely shit on. Early on in the original game. Man, they don't even get like a super fancy title card. It's just, hey, playing the Interlude.
Like, hey, this fades in.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the Fame arc, that's Whiplash. I guess we didn't really comment on the weird Shadow Rydia earlier. I'm sure that's nothing. Rydia's just checking in on her family and friends. Now, I can't help but wonder, I forget if After Years brings this up at all, But how long she's able to, like, spend time in the Feymark, given that this is practically her home at this point. But she can't spend too much time here, because otherwise she would out-age everyone by millennia. Because I don't think... Yeah, you're unaware of this. The Feymark here, this is where Rydia goes when she gets rescued by Leviathan at one point, although we think she dies at that point early on in the game. And time here flows at a different rate than in the human world. By a factor of years. When you first get Rydia, she's about 11. When she rejoins you, she's about 21.
Oh.
So she goes through some stuff.
Well, that's a perfect excuse for character development.
Yeah.
For off-screen character development, perfect excuse.
So she can't be spending too much time here, otherwise she'd be gone for like 2 weeks and come back as an 80-year-old lady being like, "Oh, Cecil, I remember you carrying me through the desert. Your shins were lumpy." And some shit like that. I don't know. Also, I forget if I mentioned this during the main LP, but one detail I really like about the PSP version is that the Feymark actually has a background, because if I'm recalling, at least in the Super Nintendo version, the Feymark was just a black background instead of the level.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, mind you, Super Nintendo, so definitely a weaker system than the PSP. Probably by a factor of 4 if I had to estimate.
Ooh, a bunch of items.
Mm-hmm. And you do want to grab all the items here, because they will come in handy for later. As small of a later as that is. Now, Asura, where are you going? Better yet, why are you blocking the gap to the Self Cave? That's not the Self Cave. That's the place you find Yang. What is the name of that?
You realize who you're asking, right?
Yeah, no, I'm asking myself more than anything.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, wait a second.
This goes into the thing I talk about a couple times in other games where I know some games like the back of my hand, but I can't remember the names of certain things in them unless I'm playing them for the life of me because my focus just is all over the place. Also, holy shit, you are driving this airship super slowly, guys.
Yeah, doesn't it only take a few seconds to get across the world, basically?
Yeah, I'd say if you were using the actual airship in 4, driving directly north from Baron to get to Damsian is maybe 15 seconds, if even. Yeah, like, that's a closer speed to what you actually get.
Vroom, vroom.
I should note, though, as you may have been able to tell by me grabbing treasure as Rydia in the Feymark, any chests that you're aware of the position of in FF4 are replenished here in the Interlude. So even the little Damsian secret stashes are there, and I think they usually contain the same thing. Some of them might be altered. I think they place a few more save points along the way as well. Maybe. Also, there's just straight up no music here for some reason.
Yeah, I was wondering if something was wrong there.
It's weird thinking about it, because I think FF6 may have been the last game to actively not play music in certain places as an atmosphere thing. Because I think even 7 goes more for like some atmospheric noise at some points. Like I'm immediately thinking of the dream Tifa has after the end of the Gaia Cliff events in Disc 2. 8, I think, goes more for atmosphere sounds. 9 does that a couple times. 10, yeah. 14's always playing some form of music. Yeah, 6 may have been one of the last ones to do that. Out of the mainline games, at least. Spin-offs I'm a little less familiar with, because even though I've played a lot of them over the years, I haven't either A, beaten them as many times, if at all. And yeah, that's it. I'm just less familiar. It is weird, though, and this is less so a thing in after years as well, just seeing Damsian with a population, because for context, Anthem, when you come here in the original 4, you just witness it getting basically bomb-raided. Everyone is dead except for Edward and his dying fiancé.
Oh. Also, can you just say you only have, like, You have under 16,000. You picked up a chest that had 6,000 in it.
Yeah.
Just like casually. Yeah. Here's 40% of what your current total is. Have fun.
Mm-hmm. You do still want to upgrade your character's equipment, though, because as few enemies as there are in this, there are still some fights that can give you some trouble. If I'm recalling correctly, I'll get the actual numbers on screen here in a moment, for future me. I want to say the original FF4's bestiary in the PSP version is between 200 and 300 enemies.
Yeah.
I think Interludes is less than 100, period. There is not much to this scenario. I'm curious if there's even like a speedrun category for this specific section.
For Interlude?
Yes, I'm loading up SRC.
I mean, I have it bookmarked and already open, so.
So do I.
Interlude in 29 minutes, 30 seconds. 29 minutes, 26 seconds.
Yeah, that seems about right. I'd say casually on a first-time run, this is between 5 to 8 hours, depending on how familiar with the original game's mechanics you are. If you're going for every bestiary entry, maybe between 8 and 12, depending on how encounters decide to be rare.
Cruel speedrun the Interlude?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Also, first is 2724. Because I had that up. Yeah. His name just appears everywhere at this point, I swear.
Yeah. Oh, hi, new unique NPC that totally isn't a more important character in the after years. Oh, hi, Edward.
Oh, hi, everybody.
That is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, though, they got a lot of done in just a year, because even, like, mind you, it's different to reconstruct a castle back then when you would have an entire population working. Oh! Palom, you just murdered him. God damn, girl. No, Porum just murdered Palom. Why do I still get those two mixed up?
I don't know. Why do you mix up Urianger and Estinian?
We don't talk about that, Anthem.
We talk about that.
Damn it. Yeah, for context, for some reason towards the end of my most recent FF14 subcard, I kept on confusing Estinian and Urianger when they weren't on screen, and I don't know why.
Literally, the only similarity is white hair, else.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing else.
Character-wise, then they don't speak the same kind of Shakespearean. It's just a bunch of, my brain doesn't work properly at times.
Here's the worst part. You played Dragoon.
Yeah. And
how was anyone forget Estinian when you played Dragoon?
yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Of course you mix up the Dragoon and the Astro. We're not that much alike, man.
And a lot of probably want you to progress early Interlude is just, hey, talk to everyone. You haven't seen them in a year. Might be nice. And there is some nice dialogue here, but it does make progressing definitely a little bit slow. Let me put it like this. I think if I'm recalling timestamps correctly, we don't get into our first battle for another 3 or 4 minutes.
Wait, are you forced to talk to everybody before it moves on?
I think you're at least forced to talk to Edward and maybe the unique NPCs from the party.
Okay.
I think the soldiers that are around and the secretary in training and whatever the old guy's name to the right is, you don't have to talk to.
That's fair.
Also, yeah, Edward, how's Damsian's crystal? That kind of got taken pretty easily. Palom! Kids. He saw a shiny. He went after the shiny.
Yeah.
Not just anyone can open this door, huh? Captain Hammer might have something to say about that. And I'm not talking about the Dr. Evil sing-along blog character. I'm just meaning a hammer. Yeah, that is a weird thing about 4, looking back. They give all the crystals elements, but it doesn't really do anything. At least in the original game, I think it plays a bit more into after years.
Also, why is the fire crystal blue?
They're all blue.
Good enough answer.
They're blue now. They're blue now! They're blue now.
That's a good enough answer. Better than I was expecting, honestly. I was expecting just ha ha ha, screw you, that's why.
Cecil, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm sure everything's fine.
Mm-hmm, totally.
Totally no reason to walk out of there in trepidation. Whoa, what's up, person? Incident on Mount Hobbs? Oh no! I wonder what could be happening on Mount Hobbs, a place where we got attacked by bombs earlier. Surely it's not more bombs. But no, some Fabulian monks have been attacked, and Yang's gonna go outwards to try and help. And hey, we're main characters, so we're going too! Yay! Yeah, there's the Star Wars quote. Yeah, it's weird. Looking back, Final Fantasy's been full of Star Wars references since a very early age, at least in the US FF6, because of Biggs and Wedge first appearing there.
Yeah.
But they retrofitted basically every game before FF6 to have those after the fact, because I think... actually, no, I think the first Biggs and Wedge may... No, that was Sid and Mid. Did 5 have a Biggs and Wedge added into the GBA version? It may have. FF4 retrofitted 2 of the Baron soldiers to be Biggs and Wedge, I know.
4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. It looks like.
That sounds about right. I know every game prior retrofitted that didn't have one before did end up getting a Sid, because in the original game, there was just this ancient civilization guy who built all the cool stuff. They renamed him to Sid in I think the PlayStation version. All right.
Oh, and in the...
Go
ahead.
You go ahead. My point's less important, technically.
In the Dawn of Souls and 20th Anniversary Remake, Biggs and Wedge are some of the automatic names the player can choose for the thief job.
That's right, auto names were a thing. Alright, so we just got our first enemies, technically. But here's the thing. Interlude's enemies are weird in that statistically they're either the same or weaker than their FF4 counterparts. So even though I'm showing off every new enemy, because we're already so high level, I think we're in between the 20s and 30s, everything's going to die in one hit anyway, so we're not largely going to be going over stats unless it's a boss fight, an enemy that's been repurposed into a boss fight, or a new enemy, period. But to show the exact differences, let's talk about the Sandworm, for instance. In the original FF4, the Sandworm was level 6, 75 HP, 90 EXP, 25 Gil. Here in the Interlude, it's level 1 with 75 HP, 82 EXP, 22 Gil. So there are differences, but in terms of attack, it's 16 to 16. It's largely identical.
This is when I would use a repel in a Pokemon game.
Yeah. Problem is, like in a Pokemon game, you still want to get those levels.
I mean, yeah.
Plus, one thing I like about FF4, its encounter rate isn't the highest, but it's high enough to the point where I don't get annoyed by it. Unlike Unova, as I recently remembered.
I was gonna say Black and White.
For context, I recently streamed all of Black and White. Love the game still. That game's encounter rate is ridiculous.
It's not that bad. You just got stupid unlucky. In so many cases.
Who knows? Maybe I just have inverse Murphy's Law, where when I'm recording, all the good things happen. So maybe when I eventually record Gen 5, it'll be flawless. But as for that stream series, holy shit. And yet somehow I still ended up underleveled.
Yeah.
I should have thought more out of those.
You really should have.
Oh, hey, new enemy. This one is the one I think I sent to you.
It is. This thing's level 1, 50 HP, 60 strength, hold 2 defense. Gives 1,004 XP and 81 Gil. Got decent physical attack, despite having absurdly low health.
I want to say that's one of the enemies that in the original game, at least, you could get the cockatrice summon for Rydia from. I'm not sure if it can still drop down an interlude, honestly.
Looks like it can.
I find it interesting you can do that, given when Rydia does end up joining our party, but at the same time, it's so pointlessly low chance. What's the point even talking about it, really?
It's not that bad of a chance, it looks like, if this is accurate.
Oh, I'm gonna guess like a 1 in 8.
Correct.
Yeah, that's about usual. It's still unlikely. Because I have, out of all of the, like, rare drop summons, I've only gotten a couple over the years, and I played this game a shitload. It's just that uncommon. Alright, let's get that healing staff on Rosa, because she's going to be on healing duty for the next boss fights. And, yeah.
Imagine needing healing. You have a paladin, you don't need heal. You don't need a white mage.
Yeah, but we also have a monk.
Yeah, but you have a paladin. You don't need a white mage.
Monk is second dragoon, clearly. Forehead.
Except Monk, by sheer virtue of playing the character, they know how to deal with everything. And they don't suffer. The only suffering they do is because they're playing that character.
Yeah. Wait.
Fix Monk, please.
No, they are. Wait, Queen Sheila, something's happened to her? Oh, shit. We have to get to Fobble immediately.
Yeah.
Something about this entire situation smells very familiar.
I mean...
Oh, no, another bomb.
You played an entire game with Yang, right?
Yeah. Another bomb attack on the top of Mount Hobbs, you don't say. New boss is a dad bomb. 12,200 HP, 2,100 EXP, 1,500 gil. Weak to dark of all elements, but I don't think there's a way you can do any damage to that element at this point. And it's got 2 attacks. Blue Flame, which does decent fire damage. And like the Mom Bomb we fought during the main game, it'll eventually self-destruct and split into 6 other bomb types.
You first attacked at 420.
I think you can theoretically still kill it before it uses its explosion attack, like with the Mom Bomb. You're just gonna need to either have grinded a bit more or just have absurd DPS. Also, it's weird that they give you just 2 generic monks for this fight. With that said, they're basically more Yangs, so I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, I mean... A monk is a monk is a monk.
Yeah. Oh, this one won't hurt at all.
Boom.
Gray bombs and balloons still have their exact same stats from FF4. I think you want to theoretically go after the balloons first, because I believe they're a higher level enemy than the gray bombs, but given the stats they give you, you can take some punishment. Don't worry too much. If I were to rate the difficulty on the interlude as a whole, as long as you fight every encounter along the way, I would say FF4 original is maybe a 6 at the highest. Not a very hard game outside of some of the super bosses. Interlude's maybe a 3. Because by and large, it's really here for the people who really care about the super-de-duper lore stuff. If you don't care about it, honestly, I would just recommend skipping right on to After Years, because there's a lot more interesting happening in that than this.
Well, these 2 generic monks are important, though, right?
Sure. They're the descendants of the one you play in FF1. Time to write an entire story arc.
I don't believe you.
Why would you not believe me? What are you talking about? I'm a trustworthy person. They do notably have some pretty stacked equipment, and I believe you can cannibalize their stuff for Yang if you want to. Though I forget how much longer Yang sticks with our party at this point, because I know at Fobble we lose at least one character. I did have to do a little bit of a conflict with myself, though, if I'm recalling correctly, for whether or not I even wanted to show the few encounters that there are in Interlude. Because technically speaking, it's a new game, therefore I should at least show off every fight to show off how quickly it dies. but it's also the exact same game mechanics with the exact same stats, barring an occasional minor change to like level, experience, or attack numbers. Since it's all in the same playlist at the end of the day, though, I'm just gonna keep going with what we're doing here. Also, I don't think I talked about it in the original game, but I'm generally surprised they actually added, like, a wind effect to the mountains in PSP. It's minor, but I at least appreciate the added atmosphere, as minor as that is.
Yeah. Definitely.
There's many reasons I will say the PSP version of 4 is the version people should play if they're new to the game. The 3D version having the difficulty spike it does, being one of them. Actually, wait, am I just straight up now cutting out encounters, or did I fight these ones already? I don't remember. Because I recorded this a while ago, going for a real number here, checks the properties on this video file, waits for them to load. Windows, where are they? Yeah, this was rendered somewhere around June. So this is close to half a year old. Not the longest gap I've done for Final Fantasy stuff.
No.
Either way, with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we'll see what's going on with Queen Sheila, I guess.
I guess.
See you guys then.